Hello and thanks for joining us on the news on NTA International. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The headlines. ECOWAS delegation meets President Bazoum in Niger as military junta suggests 3-year transition period. Authorities order about 30,000 people to flee wildfires in Canada. And 640 farmers in Niger State get inputs to boost agriculture. Let's begin with the crisis in Niger, as the ECOWAS delegation has met with ousted Niger President Mohamed Bazoum. Head of the delegation and Nigeria's former head of state, General Abdulsalam Abubakar, spoke to the media. The delegation from regional nations arrived in Niger Saturday afternoon in a last-ditch diplomatic effort to reach a peaceful solution with mutinous soldiers who ousted the country's president last month. Reports say Niger's military junta has proposed a 3-year transition period. In an address to the nation delivered on Nigerian public television Tele Sahel, Abdurrahman Chiani, leader of the junta, also announced the establishment of an inclusive national dialogue within 30 days. Meanwhile, Niger's new military ruler said Saturday that a transition of power would not go beyond 3 years. He also warned that any attack on the country would not be easy for those involved. General Chiani said in a televised address that their ambition is not to confiscate power. He, however, added that if an attack were to be undertaken against them, it will not be taken lightly. He also said ECOWAS is getting ready to attack Niger by setting up an army in collaboration with a foreign army, without saying which country he meant. Tiani's warning came after a delegation from the West African bloc arrived at the country for a final diplomatic push before deciding whether to take military action against the country's new military rulers. In his 12-minute speech, Tiani denounced what he called the illegal and inhuman sanctions levied by ECOWAS against Niger since the military seized power. He also announced a 30-day period of national dialogue to draw up concrete proposals to lay the foundations of a new constitution. Elsewhere, Ecuadorians head to the polls Sunday in a presidential election tarnished by the murder of a top candidate, leading to violence in a once peaceful nation caught up in the global drug trade. This is just as polls also opened in Guatemala's runoff elections. Charles Alpha brings us details.
For the country's presidential election, all 8 presidential candidates have prioritized promises to crack down on organized crime while campaigning in bulletproof vests. This small South American country has in recent years become a playground for foreign drugs, with mafia seeking to export cocaine, stirring up a brutal war between local gangs. The highest profile among them is the presidential candidate and anti-corruption crusader Fernando Villavicencio, gunned down in broad daylight as he left a political rally just days ahead of the vote. Soldiers have been deployed across the country to secure the vote, which began 7 in the morning local time and closed at 5 in the evening. Initial results are expected to trickle in the same night, with 10 days for a final tally to be announced. President Guillermo Lasso called the snap election after he dissolved the opposition-dominated Congress in May to avoid impeachment trial just 2 years after his election. There are 8 candidates vying for the election, with a runoff scheduled for October 15 if no one wins outrightly. The new president will take the oath of office on October 26 and will only serve for a year and a half. Elsewhere, Guatemalans voted on Sunday in a presidential runoff tainted by efforts to disqualify the surprise frontrunner who promised to crack down on corruption has fired up voters. Reformist outsider Fernando Arevalo pulled off a massive upset by finishing second in the first round and will face off against Sandra Torres in the runoff. A recent poll shows Arevalo with a strong lead. Both are social democrats, meaning Guatemala will have its first leftist leader in over a decade. The shock first round result was followed by efforts to disqualify Alvaro's similar party and raids on their offices as well as those of the Electoral Tribunal, raising alarm among allies over efforts to undermine the vote. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
In Ghana, stakeholders in the education sector, including opinion leaders, municipal and district chief executives, as well as traditional authorities, have been sharing experiences to promote the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal 4 in the Eastern region. The Ghana Education Service, in collaboration with Japan International Cooperation, JICA, organized the Regional Education Forum in Kofod 4 in the Eastern region.
The project, dubbed Community Participation for Sustainable School for All, COMPASS, was initiated in the Eastern region about 2 years ago. The aim is to improve learning outcomes at the basic level of education through collaborative efforts of communities, parents, traditional authorities, assembly members, opinion leaders, and schools. The project seeks to help attain the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality of education and promote lifelong opportunities for all. It is also to help achieve about 85% literacy among the populace by the end of 2024. At a regional education forum, the Eastern Regional Director of Education, Madam Ivy Owusu, encouraged participants to get involved in the programs to sharpen their skills and strategize for better learning outcomes in the region. The project operation team leader and coordinator for partnership and affiliations at the Ghana Education Service, Mr. Bright Day, said most of the proposed activities in the previous years that have been implemented have helped improve education. He, however, urged authorities in the district that did not perform satisfactorily to improve on their performances. The Chief Director of the Eastern Regional Coordinating Council, Mr. John Donko, said the Japanese government, through the JICA Secretariat, which he described as a reliable development partner, has provided several education interventions in the country.
Project operation team members have been formed at the national level. Designated offices have been allocated at the national level. Financial and technical support for regional and district operation are being given by the central government through the Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, and the assemblies.
The deputy advisor of the COMPASS project, Mr. Kohei Nakayama, spoke about the project and its impact on education.
In the implementation, we achieved to improve 2.4 points out of 10 in the correct answers rate of the compared with the baseline and end-line assessment. And next year, we will improve the functioning of SMC to continue this initiative to get to the better future for children and the community of Ghana.
Let's head to Canada now, where around 30 to 35,000 people have been ordered to evacuate their homes in western British Columbia as raging wildfires spread. Charles Alpha brings us details.
Kelowna, a city of 150,000, was choked with thick smoke as it became the latest population center hit in the summer of dramatic wildfire across Canada, which has left millions of acres scorched. Authorities urge thrill seekers to stay away as their presence could disrupt the work of firefighters and first responders. EBI and MA also announced an emergency order seeking to halt non-essential visits to the area. The order, which bans visitors from checking in at hotels and other temporary accommodations, covers Kelowna and the nearby towns of Kamloops, Oliver, Penticton, and Varon, as well as Osoyoos near the U.S. border.
We are facing the worst wildfire season in our province's history. This unprecedented situation has come to a head this evening. In just the last 24 hours, the situation has evolved and deteriorated.
The federal government is closely coordinating with the province of BC, and we will be there to add to whatever resources BC has, and we're all going to get through this incredibly difficult summer together.
The evacuation came one day after the Northwest Territories capital of Yellowknife was emptied in the largest ever evacuation from the region. Winds have been fanning wildfires towards Yellowknife, but overnight rain brought some relief Saturday with a sharp drop in temperatures. Charles Alpha.
The Kenneth Kaunda International Airport gold scam has landed its place as one of the biggest crimes to be busted in Zambia in recent times. Those involved in the scam, associated with 2 seized aircraft, $5 million cash and over 600 pieces of fake gold, have attracted strong caution from the highest office in the land.
The Kenneth Kaunda International Airport gold scam has landed its place as one of the biggest crimes to be busted on the Zambian soil in recent history. The scam has dominated the media headlines for the past 3 days, and those involved in the scam associated with 2 seized aircrafts, $5 million cash, and over 600 pieces of fake gold have attracted a strong caution from the highest office in the land.
If someone wearing a cover of a civil service anywhere, including State House, they got involved, they will be arrested. To reinforce the point that the law is above, is supreme.
During an interaction with media at State House in Lusaka today, President Hakainde Hichilema noted that the positive business environment in the country should not be mistaken to be a safe haven for illegal transactions.
This environment for investment, trade, whatever it is, must not be misunderstood to mean that there is a safe haven for criminals. Local criminals wearing the jacket of investors, gold traders. That room is not there.
The president further added that government is collaborating with the international community and law enforcement organizations such as Interpol to exchange intelligence information which will help fight crimes such as the current gold scam.
We will work with the international law enforcement agencies, continue doing that. Already there's collaboration that's going on. By virtue of my office, I'm aware that there's collaboration going on. Those that boarded from the airport, those that ran away, we have invoked already. Institutions have invoked the global network of law enforcers.
The president's message further reflected on the need for the media to report objectively and ensure they fact-check information before mirroring it to the public.
Media, report what is correct. If you are not sure what is correct to report, ask questions. Who do you ask questions? The institutions on the ground. Then we remain professional.
Law enforcement agencies have been challenged to activate mobile phone hotlines and other platforms which will allow citizens and whistleblower organizations to report corruption and other wrongdoings in the country.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. Stay with us, more reports after this break. You're welcome back. In the wake of escalated kinetic and non-kinetic operations by the multinational Joint Task Force, coupled with dwindling logistic supplies in Boko Haram hideouts, mass surrenders have rattled Boko Haram commanders and insurgents. Over a span of 2 days from 14th to 15th August 2023, 4 key commanders, 13 main fighters, and a total of 45 family members laid down their arms and surrendered to troops of Sector 3, Multinational Joint Task Force in Cross Kawa and Baga of Kukawa local government area. Surrendered items include 7 AK-47 rifles, 1 FN rifle, nearly 440 rounds of assorted caliber ammunition, and other essential tools of insurgency. On the inaugural day of the recent mass surrender, 14th August 2023, 2 commanders, 9 main fighters and 21 family members yielded to the relentless operations of troops stroked by the 19 Brigade in Kroskawa and 403 Amphibious Brigade in Baga. They voluntarily surrendered 6 AK-47 rifles, 1 FN rifle, 20 magazines with 2 fully loaded, 12 rounds of 5.6mm ammunition, 2 hand grenades, 3 bandoliers and 180 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition, among numerous items. In a statement from the military information officer, Jamina, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, it explains that the tide of peaceful surrenders continued on to the following day, 15th August 2023, when 2 other commanders, 4 fighters and 24 family members responded to the call for peace. In response to this major breakthrough, the multinational Joint Task Force has re-echoed an urgent call to all remaining Boko Haram insurgents, urging them to embrace peace and surrender as operations intensify. In other news, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has carried out a series of operations in the country, resulting in significant drug busts and arrests. In Lagos, a warehouse raid recovered opioids worth 4.8 billion naira and led to the arrest of a suspect linked to a drug baron. $20 million worth of counterfeit notes were also intercepted in Abuja along with the bus driver. Meanwhile, the agency has destroyed cannabis farms in Osun State, conducted multiple drug seizures, as well as arrests of suspects, including a wanted teenage bandit. Let's talk agriculture now. 40 farmers and cooperative societies have been selected from the 25 local government areas of Niger State to benefit from agricultural inputs and seedlings. The intervention, which is at the instance of the Niger State government, in collaboration with Fadama NCAres and Agroclimatic Restoration in Semi-Arid Landscapes, seeks to boost food production and sustainability in the state. Hussein Musa reports that the Niger State Governor, Mohamed Umaru Bago, presided over the flag-off of the distribution of farm inputs to the beneficiaries.
The intervention is aimed at ensuring the farmers take optimal advantage of the wet season farming to ensure food security and reduce difficulties posed by subsidy removal. The 640 beneficiaries selected from across the 25 local government areas of the state will get fertilizers, herbicides, and improved seedlings as well as farm tools as grant.
So we're encouraging our people to farm and also remain resolute. And we've created a ministry for nomadic affairs and pastoral affairs in order to bring the Fulani people into the fold of governance. To the youth, we cannot continue to blame our people for hunger. We need to also go back to the farms. Agroclimatic Resilience and Semi-Arid Landscapes project of the World Bank has a $700 million investment to be tapped and assessed by 19 northern states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The flag-off of the intervention witnessed symbolic presentation of the farm inputs to some farmers. In Mina, Hussein Musa, NTA News.
Apologies for the sound or audio challenges in that report. Snapshots bring joy, creativity and lifetime memories. Serafina Okon Mekwe takes a look at the evolution of photography since 1839, when image printing on hard surfaces became a dream come true.
Stand by, rolling and smile.
Creating memories and preserving them for a lifetime through snapshots called pictures is not an all-comers affair, says Innocent Roland, an Abuja-based photographer. His passion for expressions of timeless moments and colors informed his vocation in photography, with basic techniques of mode creation.
What is best for the lighting is that, like, we have 3 lights. For you to get a very nice images is 3 lights. So we have the field lights, the key lights, and the side lights.
Continuous presence of evolutions of information communications technology further makes photography work more intriguing, says Abdul.
Photography has really evolved into something amazing, starting from the days where you have to snap a picture, take it to photo lab. But in recent days, technology has advanced to the point that memory card were introduced. You can snap picture instantly, get it directly.
The challenge now is that of smartphones owners competing with photographers who need to remain in business. But the development has pushed them into daily research of current trends. Whatever situation it is, give those moments of yours a lifetime memory as you commemorate this annual celebration of arts. Serafina Okon Omekwe, NTA News.
Here on to the news on NTA International. We'll take another break. Stand by, more reports shortly. The Nasarawa State government is strengthening partnership with the National Agency for Science, Engineering and Infrastructure, NTAi, for utilization of homegrown technology. This was made known when Governor Abdullahi Sule visited NTAi's head office in Abuja. Aliu Tijani reports.
Established to research, develop and produce homegrown technologies, the National Agency for Science, Engineering and Infrastructure, NTAi, has been in the vanguard of achieving its mandate by establishing centers in parts of the country, including Nasarawa State, to produce and encourage the use of locally made machines and tools. With its centers in Lafia, Kefi and Nasarawa town, Governor Abdullahi Sule is at the head office of the agency to congratulate the new executive vice chairman and reassure him of the state government commitment to sustain the partnership between the state government and NTAi. With abundant raw minerals and solid minerals in the state, Governor Sule advises NTAi to take advantage and boost its production in the state.
Bold clearly in Nasarawa state that there is what you call now lithium rush. So I'm praying, I'm hoping that your solar cell factory in Kefi, we can enter into a relationship and you have your raw material very close to you, so you will be able to take it from there and go into further processing.
The executive vice chairman of NTAi says there is need for the state government to support the agency by patronizing its products so as to develop and grow homemade technologies.
If there's only one thing I will do in NTAi is to promote, if that's the only job I'll do, I will promote a policy of government to curtail the export of lithium in particular and other strategic minerals that we can actually be able to process here.
He pledges to sustain partnership that existed between the agency and Nasarawa State by initiating new programs and projects in the state. The new executive vice chairman of NTAi took over from Professor Mohamed Sani Haruna, an indigene of Nasarawa State, who served his 2 terms of 10 years in the agency. In Abuja, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
Up next is Monday's weather. Well, that concludes the news on NTA International at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Dennis at Degunloye.